Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Tuesday, the 14th day of March 2023. It is Tuesday of the third week of Lent. Tuesday, third week of Lent. It is the 17th day of Lent. Today, because it is 3.14, for all of you who are attuned to math, it is Pie Day. So go out and get some pie. It could be pizza pie. It could be regular pie, any kind of pie. Eat pie. Eat pie today. Pie is the only thing that allows fruit inside of it. Cake should never have fruit in it. That's just Father Jim saying that. Okay. So on this, the other thing is another beautiful day here in North Carolina. Again, people ask, why did anybody ever settle here? Because the summers are so oppressive and horrible. It is days like today. So where it is it is cold, it is chilly today, but the sky is beautifully blue today, and everything is coming in for spring. This is the Great Labyrinth from the Great Green Slope over here by our community center, and the Carillon, there it is, Carillon of our chapel right there. The labyrinth, if you can make it down the Great Green Slope without breaking your leg or twisting your ankle or whatever it is a great place for meditation during Lent, to follow the travels of the labyrinth, to be able to refocus ourselves in consciousness of God's working within us, and God's being a part of our life. This very ancient devotional practice going back to beyond the Middle Ages. Again, we have it recreated here at St. Francis, and it's always good to take advantage of, especially during the season of Lent. But in our readings today, they both deal with forgiveness in a way. The first reading from the book of Daniel, where Daniel and the three youths, Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael, have been thrown into the fiery furnace because they dared to go against King Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon. They will not eat pork and worship idols and things like that. And so they've been thrown into the fiery furnace as a way to kill them, but they're not dying. And Azariah gets up, and all of them get up, and they say a prayer to God to be able to help deliver them. And it is a prayer that calls upon God. It recognizes the fact that Israel is in this situation because of its brokenness and its ridiculousness and its absurdities, and not following God's will and not following God's commandments. But it calls upon God to fix that and to rescue them. And again, Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael have not done anything that is sinful. They are the ones who are trying to obey God's commandment, and it is Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, who has thrown them into the fiery furnace. So it is a punishment because they are righteous, not a punishment because they've done anything wrong. But still they pray, not just for themselves, but for the entire people of Israel, which is what our prayer should always be. Again, not just for ourselves, but also always, for the rest of the human family that we are a part of. And Azariah kind of reminds us of that in his prayer within this fiery furnace, which again, God rescues them from. And this is another, again, so there's a fiery furnace, then there's a lion's den. Again, there's many different things that Daniel finds himself in. In the lion's den, he's by himself, but in the fiery furnace, he's in there with Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael. Or maybe Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael are by themselves. I can't remember. But this is also something that is said. We pray this prayer as a part of morning prayer one of the days during the week, in one of the weeks in morning prayer that we pray it. But again, it's an important prayer to remember, to be able to call upon a God who answers, and a God who recognizes the fact that we make mistakes all the time, but again, is a God who seeks to make things better for us, a God who wants us to be what God has created us to be, and does not want to punish us for who and what we are. So it's important, I think, to remember in Lent. In Luke's Gospel, I think it is. It was Luke's Gospel yesterday. I think we're still in Luke's Gospel today. Maybe Matthew's. If it's not Matthew, it's Luke. But it is about the person who asked Jesus, how many times should they forgive? Again, it's like, 7 times, 77 times, whatever it is. And Jesus offers the parable of a man who is forgiven for some debts, and they will not forgive others who are in debt to him. And when the person who originally he owed a debt to, the king, the master, the magistrate, whatever it is, finds out that he is insensitive and a horrible person, and he doesn't show as much care for others as was shown to him, then this individual is thrown into prison and again, and wastes away and what have you. Again, a very stark kind of parable in reminding us again that forgiveness is mutual. It always is mutual. And when we recognize how much that we have been forgiven, so much more do we have to then forgive others, who have offended us or hurt us or whatever it is. Forgiveness allows for growth. Forgiveness allows for beginning again. Forgiveness allows for us to know that there's a future for us. Sometimes we can forget that because we can hold on to things because somehow that makes us feel comfortable to hold on to hurts and pains and whatever it is. And we think that that's a desire for justice and righteousness when actually it is just something that continues to eat away at us and works to our undoing. That is not good for us, and that is not good for us to become the people God intends us to be. To remember, again, to forgive and to always forgive and to keep forgiving whenever the situations arise, to live a life that allows for forgiveness to happen, is a life that moves towards wholeness, a life that moves towards happiness, a life that reflects God's glory in this world. And may the Lord give you his peace.